hell, Ophelia!"
yelled R.
"Enunciate!"
"Anyhow, we're not arguing," snapped Ma. "We're discussing." I stuck my fingers in my ears and stared out of the windscreen. Life with R and Ma was never quiet. It was all earthquakes and blizzards and hurricanes and thunderstorms. I wished I had normal parents. Parents who had ordinary jobs instead of being actors. Parents who dressed sensibly instead of in tatty old costumes from Shakespearean plays. Parents who lived in a proper house which stayed still. Parents who were called Jones or Smith rather than Bottom. It was so embarrassing having Bottom as a surname. R said it was a lucky coincidence, as Bottom was the name of an actor in A Midsummer Night's Dream. But to most people, Bottom just meant, well, you know. A clean white sign loomed up out of the shadows. Stopford. And the sun peeped out above the heavy clouds, sparkling over Stopford's clean red roofs, lighting it up like a magic town. The sky streaked red and pink. "Red sky in the morning," muttered Ma. "Shepherd's warning." Why did Ma always moan and groan about everything? We were only here for 3 nights, so I was going to make the most of every single second. We drove along Stopford High Street. My eyes ate up everything in the shiny shop windows, the computers, the huge televisions, the soft, billowy duvets, and the pretty flowery curtains. All the things we couldn't afford. The Pantechnicon lumbered past Stopford School and past little roads, each with a different name. Chestnut Street, Magnolia Drive, Elm Close. Of all the towns we visited, Stopford was 1,000,000 times the prettiest. The houses stood in tidy rows, all just the same size. Each garden had a perfect square of green lawn, flower beds waving with bright flowers, a white wooden gate, and a neat gravel path leading up to the front door. Each door was painted a different colour, pink, blue, yellow, red or green. I stared through the windows. What must it be like to live in a proper house, with different rooms for washing and cooking and sleeping and watching television? All too quickly, we headed out of town. Just ahead was Stopford Bridge, where the river wound down towards the sea. Suddenly R slammed on the brakes, and I only just avoided knocking my teeth out on the driver's seat. A huge lorry blocked the bridge. On its side was painted, "Pratt's Plastic Pellets." The driver, wearing overalls, leant on the bridge, sipping coffee from a takeaway plastic cup.
"Road hog!"
R stabbed the horn, his beard quivering with annoyance. The man stared up at R and smirked. I was used to this. People always stared at R and Ma. They always stared at the Pantechnicon too, with its rusty patches and flaking paintwork, and at the words painted on its side. Bottom's Travelling Theatre. The man made a rude gesture, dropped the empty plastic cup into the river, and slowly climbed into his cab. The river looked different to the way it had last year, when we came to Stopford for the first time. It was all choked up with junk. The lorry pulled away in a cloud of exhaust.
"Litterbug!"
roared R. I ducked down behind the driver's seat, my face burning. R crashed the gears of the Pantechnicon and accelerated after the lorry, but it soon veered off up the hill, where a huge windowless concrete building stood on its own beside the river, surrounded by high walls. The Pantechnicon rattled and bumped down an uneven lane towards Stopford Common. The trees bent in one direction by the wind. R gave an earth-shattering cough, and my eyes began to sting. Wiping them, I peered up at the building on the hill, where the lorry had gone. A fat chimney belched out black smoke, even now at 6 in the morning. The smoke followed the same direction as the bent trees.